Business Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580 invites you to join us for a book party celebrating The Covenant with Black America 20 years later. Almost 2 decades ago, the Covenant book, compiled and edited by Tavis Smiley, climbed to #1 on the New York Times bestsellers list and stayed there for weeks. The first book by a Black-owned publisher to achieve such a feat. The urgency of the issues that matter most to Black fellow citizens has only intensified, especially in this critical election year. On Wednesday evening, August 14th, 6 to 9 p.m., come meet Tavis Smiley alongside Covenant contributors including Cornel West, Connie Rice, Mark Ridley Thomas, Elisa Orduna, Tyrone Howard, and Melina Abdullah as they sign copies of The Covenant with Black America 20 years later. You can purchase your books on site and get them autographed. That's Wednesday evening, August 14th, 6 to 9 p.m. in the city of Los Angeles. Admission is free, but you must register at KBLA1580.com. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Man, I feel like money. Man, I feel like money. They attracted to me. They come around like honey. They come around like honey. 'Cause I fly like a bee. Man, I got them all buzzing. Back to back up in the mix like that. And I know you like it when it's just like that. Harder girlies just love my swag. From my kicks to the way I fix my hat. I'm back. Fresh like some new J's. Brody got next, NBA 2K, I'm 2K. Shaded with some ladies, repping my city. What's LA, baby?
Welcome to Wealth Building Wednesdays, where we center Black, women, and BIPOC-owned businesses, highlight opportunities and initiatives for underrepresented entrepreneurs, and center socially innovative enterprises, building generational prosperity, fostering real networking, and recycling Black dollars. It's Wealth Building Wednesdays on KBLA Talk 1580.
And wealth manifests in a lot of different ways, I'm so happy to have a special guest in the studio with great energy. I've never met her before, but this is the day that I am meeting her. She has an MBA and an MA, forensic psychology, and is a versatile force in the holistic well-being arena, a certified holistic life alchemist, spiritual and NLP coach, metaphysical intuitive, feminine embodiment specialist, board-certified holistic therapy practitioner, herbalist, crystal and sound therapy practitioner, and quantum energy breatharian breathwork practitioner. Empress Angelique, welcome.
Thank you. Divine Rising to you and to everyone out there. I am so excited to be here with you today.
Yeah, I'm excited to have you in. You have such a broad sort of skill set, and yes. I didn't even get through everything, to be honest.
I have a vast educational background and skills, and I've acquired a lot of knowledge over the years, my 52 years.
Wow. Which do not show on your face or your body. Not those years are not. And I guess some of that has to do with that lifestyle of embracing, holistic and all of the various modalities that you embrace.
Most definitely. For me, it's been important to embrace the holistic lifestyle, particularly because back in 2012, I was diagnosed with cervical cancer, multiple uterine fibroids, and I had all of these health problems. And I saw health issues in my family, like my mom with a lot of different ailments, my grandmother, my great-grandmother, my aunts, they all had these ailments. And I would hear them like, well, it runs in the family. And now I said, no, it ends with me. It ends right now. It doesn't run in the family. We just have to change the way in which we live, change the way in which we eat, change the way in which we consume the environments all around us so that we can live a healthy life in our mind, our body, our spirit.
I assume you're well now?
Yes.
You're in remission, as they say, or in wholeness.
Yes. I am in wholeness. I am in remission. I have not had any issues since I changed my entire lifestyle.
Praise
I
God.
was told I was anemic, I had low blood pressure, just all these things. And now I'm much more in my whole healthy living.
Don't get me started. I mean, I can't. I think it was probably 25 years ago I was diagnosed with diabetes, and I can consider myself a refugee from the medical system. I still go see regular doctors,
Yes.
but they don't tell me I have diabetes anymore. And because I changed my lifestyle. People think it's just because I'm obsessed with being, thin. Or
I get that all the
glamorous,
time.
which I do. I care about how I look, of course, but I
Right.
mostly don't want to have to take insulin shots.
Right. I mean, well, you're beautiful and you're
Thank you.
glowing, and it
As are you.
shows.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. We're reflections of each other. But I know that when we take control of our healing, when we take control of our wellness and allow our body to do what it naturally does, it heals itself. All of those so-called diagnoses that we get a lot of times is just our body in dis-ease. It's not in harmony. It's out of harmony. And so what I do now is help women to be able to see that they can heal themselves. They can utilize the medical system, but also look at some of the holistic aspects as well, and really go within and utilize these modalities to support their living a healthy lifestyle.
Yeah, I don't know why we think we have to choose. Right?
I know.
Yeah, so this was a long way around to say that, we were playing money, because we spotlight businesses.
Yes.
But reading about you, it doesn't feel like a business. I know it is your business.
Yes.
BeElevatedLLC.com. I mean, LLC, it says it right there. It's a
Yes.
business.
Yeah.
BeElevatedLLC.com. But it's the business of being in well-being, right?
Yes, it's the business of being in well-being. So that whole process of going through having cervical cancer, going through my different ailments, and then having a total abdominal hysterectomy in 2017,
Wow.
I knew that I needed to walk away from corporate. I was in the beauty industry and higher education. I was a executive, like a regional sales manager over 13 states, and I was just on the go. I wasn't paying attention to my body. I wasn't paying attention to the signs and things because I wasn't as in tune with myself as I thought I was, because I was on that hustle and on that grind. But then when I had that total abdominal hysterectomy in 2017 to remove the fibroids, I made a commitment to myself. I sat in meditation and I asked Spirit, I asked the Most High, I said, okay, what is it that I am to do in this time of my life? How can I serve others? How can I be of support to others? And literally the name Be Elevated came about. I started writing, developed my website while I was recovering from the surgery.
Wow.
It went into the whole thing because it was so crystal clear that I needed to walk away from corporate, take all the knowledge, all of the skills that I had acquired, and start this business so that I can support others to be able to shift their life and be able to see the light within them, be able to see that those diagnoses, those traumas, those obstacles that may have come your way doesn't define who you are. You get to choose and use those as stepping stones so that you can elevate yourself to the next level.
I'm so glad that you came into the studio. I'm so happy to have met you this morning. You're getting love in our YouTube chat. Paul says the Black Queen is everything. Keep glowing, my beautiful Black women. Molly Bell says, wow, powerful introduction. Say her name again. Empress Angelique is her name, Molly Bell. Both of you are quite lovely, listening straight out of Compton in the U.S. Post Office. Courtney Edwards saying, Jumbo, my beautiful Black Queen, teach peace. Lots of love. How did you, I think when people get a serious diagnosis or they have a crossroads in their life, whatever it might be, could be psychological, physical, relationships, those ones that shake us to the core.
Yes.
It's not that easy to just say, okay, I'm going to change my whole life,
It isn't.
Even when you have cancer or, high blood or diabetes, there's so many of the ailments that our people in particular are facing. How did you do that? Like, where did you start? What did you do to make yourself stick to it?
Where it really started was creating that foundation for myself, creating routines that were consistent. So my rising rituals, my resting rituals, I started with just being consistent with my meditation. Journaling was so pivotal for me. I also started putting affirmations and mantras all around my home. So before, part of my resting ritual was to write on my mirror an affirmation or a mantra, so that when I arose, the first thing you do is you go into your bathroom. You go into the mirror, you brush your teeth, and I see this. Even if I don't always read it, subconsciously the words are there and it's being embedded into my subconscious and it's staying with me. So I'm raising my vibrational frequency. I'm raising myself so that I can be more in alignment with being able to shift what I needed to shift in my life. And it just started with those things. So starting with consistency in my rituals and in my meditation practice, my journaling, my mantras, and really just whenever I would have those doubts or whenever I would have times in which my mindset will go into a negative place, because it happens. None of us can be positive 100% of the time, all the time.
Right.
It's
not when we're driving. I mean,
right.
Or other stressful situations.
Or other stressful situations.
Yeah.
We just want to But remembering those tools for me was really pivotal. So I would say that's how I really was able to shift, was starting with that and then incorporating and not trying to be like anyone else, not thinking, I have to do it this way, and understanding that even 5 minutes of meditation works. Even if I took 5 minutes to sit with some tea or coffee and just breathe and then just be in my peace. So just taking that time every day to just be at one with myself was how I was able to shift. Because people look at me and they go, "You're so calm. You don't seem like you get upset." No, I get upset. I do have my moments, but I also know that I can be the center of any storm, that I can be the calm in any storm. Mm-hmm. So I've learned to just be that no matter what.
Can you stay with me for another segment?
Yes.
Okay, let's do that. I'm so excited to have you here, Empress Angelique. It's a pleasure to meet you. We're keeping this going on KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward. Tavis is like George and Wheezy. He's moving on up. Last year, Tavis was number 45 on the Talkers magazine list of the 100 most important radio talk show hosts in America. Wait for it. Wait for it. The 2024 list was recently released, and Tavis has jumped to number 33 on the list of the nation's most important talkers, making him the highest-ranked African American on the coveted roster. Congratulations to Tavis Smiley from all of us at KBLA Talk 1580. We've got you black.
Hey LA, today I'm here to talk to you about Grid Alternatives, which is a nonprofit in LA that focuses on renewable energy. We serve communities who have been left out of the renewable energy sector. We offer paid job training, and in 13 weeks, you can become a solar installer. 80% of our graduates get hired into the industry, and once you're hired in the industry, you stop at a high, medium income. That could be $20 an hour or more. 80% of our graduates get hired into the industry. Call today so you don't be left out at 323-861-0105 or gridalternatives.org, gridalternatives.org.
Don't settle for bumps, ingrowns, and itch due to dry skin. Try Venus for pubic hair and skin, the razor and regimen specifically designed for your pubic area, featuring a razor with patented irritation defense bar and skincare regimen that is dermatologist and gynecologist tested. Venus helps protect your pubic skin from shave irritation. Discover the full regimen of products at GilletteVenus.com.
For all of us, this generation and the next, there is simply no place in our lives for litter. And yet, it's everywhere we look, and unfortunately, it does belong to all of us. So let's come together and create a litter-free, clean California once and for all. Remember to properly dispose of your trash and recycling. Secure truckloads with tarps to keep debris from flying out. Clean out your car when you're at the gas station. Take pride in your community by organizing a cleanup event or join a cleanup event near you. Zero litter is the goal. Join us at cleanca.com. That's cleanca.com. Let's do it together. Brought to you by Caltrans. cleanca.com.
The conversation continues right now with Dominique DiPrima on First Things First.
And we are live in the studio with my new friend, Empress Angelique. Morris said in the chat, he says, I bet this sister has a garden. I love that. The vibe is you're bringing life. And we can also find you on Instagram. We can find you on your website.
Yes.
Because there's a lot of different things that you do. We would be talking for the rest of the show. And hopefully you'll come back or touch back in with us.
I would love to.
But you have a brick and mortar?
I have a brick and mortar business at the moment. I started off in Venice. I'm now in South Central LA off of Western. And it's by appointment only, but that's where I see clients for energy services and work. We host events there periodically. I have a retail area, an apothecary, so I do custom blend herbs and tinctures and tonics and things along those lines.
And we can find you also on Instagram.
Yes.
People love to find folks on Instagram. So some of the things, I tend to track holistic stuff. It's kind of saved my life more than one way. But some of the things that you said I am not as familiar with. What is quantum energy practitioner? What does that mean?
So quantum energy is a form of energy work and healing. It's similar in some respect to like Reiki. So Reiki is about working with like that God within, whereas quantum energy is working with the quantum field, your energetic biofield that's all around you.
Right.
We have an energetic biofield where the signature of everything that we've gone through from birth to our present moment is in our energetic biofield. So I can go in and sense if you've had trauma at an early age, or if you have had some kind of ailment, or if there is something that was disruptive, or if there's stagnant energy where you need to move some things around, like if you need to work with your heart chakra, if you need to work with your sacral, or if it's something that's going on mentally, I can sense that in your energetic biofield by first going in and doing a bioscan, an auric scan, and then I use sound therapy, which is like the tuning forks, sound frequencies, and then certain other intuitive ways to help bring that into harmony.
All right, my dear friend Sahara Ali, who does our Mindful Mondays here, is a sound healer. So I am familiar with that, and I actually was super skeptical. I was like, yeah, sound waves here, that's going to fix me up. And she finally convinced me to do it, and it was amazing.
Yes.
I actually my hip was hurting, and then it wasn't. And I just found this sense of balance. And when you think about it logically, if you hear a song you love, you feel stronger, you're more energized.
Yes.
If you hear something irritating, like a loud car alarm or something like that, it makes you feel worse. So I suppose it's logical, but I was very skeptical of that.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that I tell people when it comes to like sound healing, sound therapy, is that think about times in which you yourself, when you're going through something, you may hum. You are the first sound frequency. You yourself is the first sound instrument, I should say. And so when we're humming, or when we are in harmony, or we're doing things that, like when you get upset, you start moving your body or tapping. That's all sound. That's frequency, because your body is trying to regulate itself and move it back into harmony.
Self-soothing.
So
and how do we soothe babies? A lot of times we sing to them.
We sing to them, and we rock them, and we're like humming to them, and we bring them close to us so that they can hear our heartbeat, so that they can hear those things. So think about that when we're thinking about like how powerful sound really is that is really powerful, and it's a way in which that we can heal ourselves to a certain. It's not the only way. It's one of the tools that you can utilize along with breath work, along with yoga, along with other modalities that brings us to our wholeness and our healing.
I remember Paul Mooney used to joke around and say that Dick Gregory was an airitarian because he lived on nothing but air.
Oh, there are those that are out there.
I don't know. I've actually had breakfast with Dick Gregory, so I'm pretty sure he eats more than air. But that's what I thought of when I read breatharian breathwork. But what does it actually mean?
So breatharian breathwork is a form of breath technique. So there's different types of breathwork techniques you can utilize. There's shamanic breath, and then there's breatharian breath. So breatharian breath is attuning yourself to your breath and guiding your breath intuitively so that it goes throughout your body and into all four of your energetic your energetic biofields. So like your spirit body, your mental body, your emotional body, and your physical. So breatharian breathwork is a technique that takes you through all of those and be able to, one, give you insight into where there are certain things that are out of harmony, and then it intuitively goes where it needs to go to bring you more into harmony.
Okay, what else did I see here that I was like, okay, I'm not quite sure I know what that means. Feminine embodiment specialist.
Yes.
Sounds important.
Well, feminine embodiment is really about us as women being able to really step into the very essence of our divinity, the essence of our femininity, the understanding that we are whole, that we are happy, that we are light. Like we give birth, we give life to this world, and we are so connected to everything. We're connected to the earth, we're connected to the sun, we're connected to life-giving forces as it is. So we're extremely powerful. And I think a lot of times we forget that. And sometimes what I find is that some of the women that I come across, they are told how they should be or who they should be. They forget who they actually are. So that feminine embodiment is a way to come back to your wholeness, come back to yourself, your authentic self, being able to move in a way that allows you to be expressive in everything that you do.
Your bio says you empower individuals to embrace life with a touch of magic, power, authenticity, and abundance.
Yes. So what that is like just shifting your mindset and your perspective, shifting in the essence of understanding who you are, first and foremost. So it's going back into like, who am I? Who am I really? Who am I? Who do I see myself as? How do I feel when I arise every day? How do I feel when I walk into the world, into a room? Do I feel confident or do I not feel confident?
Is that the forensic psychology piece? Is that it sounds
psychology does play a role in a lot of things that I do. So my educational background has supported me with being able to do that. So my master's in forensic psychology allows me to understand more of our behaviors as people when it comes to traumas. And so understanding that, I'm able to guide women away from the traumas and that victim mentality to be more in the essence of being more triumphant, being more in alignment with who they are, as opposed to saying, well, this broke me.
Right.
Well, there are things that do break us, but you've been broken into place. So how do we make you the mosaic masterpiece that you are? How do we put you back into your wholeness so that you can walk in your light?
Yeah, I'm smiling because I had an acting teacher who actually told me no one wants to watch a victim. But it doesn't mean you haven't been through anything.
Right.
Be a victor.
Yes.
And of course, I took that to every single part of my life.
Right.
You know, yes, I am not a victim. I am a victor. And so it's not about pretending the trauma's not there. It sounds like it's a combination of using that forensic psychology along with these other modalities to create what we want, that abundance. And
Exactly.
peace.
Exactly. Because once you are walking in that light and that abundance and that part of your peace and your wholeness, you're able to align yourself to the life in which you desire. So we talk about manifesting. A lot of times people say, well, I don't want to manifest this, or I desire to have that. Well, you have to first remove the blockages, which is usually like the traumas, it's the self-doubts, it's the lack mindset, it's the scarcity, it's the lack of confidence, it's a lot of those things. So how do you shift from that? And that's where the alchemy part comes in. So it's shifting away from that and changing that, transforming those low vibrational or negative thoughts into your power. How do I change that into my power? Like for me, I could have said, oh yeah, I was a victim of being diagnosed with cancer, being in that car accident. I was laid off from my job. We were homeless. It was so many different domino effects that happened. I could have allowed that to stagnate me and keep me down. But instead, because of these different mindsets, because of these different tools, I was able to be a victor. I was able to use them as stepping stones so that I can move in my power, so that I can move in my essence and cultivate the life that I'm living now. I'm living more abundantly than I was then. Even, I'm living more whole and more harmonious. I'm happy.
We got off into what you do, and because it's so fascinating. Tell us how to support your business.
The ways that you can support my business, one, you can follow me on my social media, so on Instagram, TikTok, I'm on Facebook. You can also go to my website. You can support me in sharing. Like if you know someone who needs support, I do counseling, coaching, so life and spiritual guidance. I also have retreats. So there's wellness retreats that are coming up. That's Mexico and Kemet and Morocco and Costa Rica. Yeah, some powerful, powerful retreats, and just share. Share who I am and what we do. Come to some events.
Empress Angelique.
Yeah.
Empress Angelique .be elevated now. That's the Instagram, right?
Yes.
And we'll post them all with the podcast, which will be available wherever you get your podcast. So nice to meet you.
You as well.
I hope you will be our new KBLA 1580 friend.
We are. I am.
Absolutely. It's perfect time to call me. It's KBLA Talk 1580.
The station you turn to when you've had it up to here with cultural incompetence. KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Mike Moore. Here's the latest from the Black Information Network. President Biden will address the Democratic National Convention next week in Chicago, Illinois. He's expected to deliver a speech during the convention's opening night, highlighting his partnership with Vice President Harris, who is now the Democratic nominee for president. The USDA will expand testing for bird flu in beef entering the nation's food supply. The decision comes as almost 200 herds of dairy cattle have contracted bird flu since March. New York City Mayor Eric Adams plans on highlighting the migrant crisis when he heads to Chicago, Illinois next week for the Democratic National Convention. The African-American mayor says he'll be meeting with national Democratic leaders to talk about the issue, and he'll push for speeding up work authorization for migrants. And that's the latest. I'm Mike Moore from your 24/7 news source, the Black Information Network, and BINnews.com.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com. At Blindster, we offer custom-made faux wood and real wood blinds and shutters, cellular shades, Roman shades, bamboo shades, exterior shades, and more, all at factory direct prices. Don't pay too much for new blinds. Go to Blindster.com.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
Colin Kaepernick still wants to play in the NFL. In an interview with Sky Sports, a network based in London, the celebrated and vilified quarterback said he can still help a team win a championship. Kaepernick, now 36, hasn't played in 7 years. He was essentially blackballed by the NFL for kneeling during the national anthem in 2016 to protest social injustices in America. New Chargers coach Jim Harbaugh is the one NFL coach who might be willing to talk to his owner about giving Kaepernick a chance. Chargers owner Dean Spanos would have the final say. When Harbaugh was coaching the 49ers, Kaepernick was his starting quarterback for 2 seasons. Kaepernick led the 49ers to the Super Bowl in 2013 and the NFC title game in 2014. Harbaugh and Kaepernick have kept in touch. Last year, Harbaugh invited Kaepernick to the University of Michigan spring game and named him an honorary captain. Stay tuned on this situation. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
Join Black Women for Wellness 25th Annual Reproductive Justice Conference on August 15th at the California Endowment Center. Unite to protect Black women's rights and become an advocate for change. Tickets on sale now at bwwla.org. That's bwwla.org.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 believes in community empowerment through the arts. Tia Chucha Central Cultural is on a mission to transform community in the Northeast San Fernando Valley and beyond through ancestral knowledge, the arts, literacy, and creative engagement. The Northeast San Fernando Valley has a population of about 500,000, the size of the city of Oakland, yet it has no bookstores, art galleries, or full-fledged cultural spaces until Tia Chucha's opened its doors in 2001. Founded by renowned poet and activist Luis Rodriguez, Tia Chucha's Cultural Center provides a year-round free or low-cost arts and literacy bilingual intergenerational programming in mural painting, music, dance, writing, visual arts, healing art sessions, and healing talking circles. Activities also include Mexica, Aztec dance, indigenous cosmology, philosophy, and 2 weekly open mic nights, one in Spanish, the other in English. In addition, they host author readings, film screenings, and art exhibits. To express yourself, heal yourself, attend an event, or volunteer, please visit www.tiachucha.org. That's TIACHUCHA.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
History is being made. LA Civil Rights and the LA City Reparations Advisory Commission is about to unveil a groundbreaking reparations report. Come learn more about the impact of the Black experience in Los Angeles. Join us on Tuesday, August 27th, 5 p.m. at CSUN's Student Union for the official release and panel discussion. For more information, call 213-978-1845 or visit laisforeveryone.com. Again, laisforeveryone.com. Be part of this monumental moment.
Welcome to Chicago.
A new chapter in Black political history will soon be written in Chicago at the Democratic National Convention. KBLA Talk 1580 will be the only talk station in LA with 5 shows broadcasting live from the DNC in Chicago, August 19th through the 23rd. Dominique DiPrima, Nicolai Corte, Ariva Martin, Adrian Shropshire, and Tavis Smiley will all be in Chicago bringing the convention to you like no other talk station in Southern California for the critical issues and conversations that matter most to you. Keep it locked to KBLA Talk 1580. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got Kamala covered.
What's up? I'm Miles.
Hey, and I'm Jara.
And a little thing we love about the Chick-fil-A Maple Pepper Bacon Sandwich is how the flavors come together. First, I taste the smoky grilled chicken, then the pepper bacon with that maple bun, added with the sweet heat and the pickles.
I'm really sold on the pickle. It meets you in the middle with the sweetness and the heat.
It's spice-tastic.
Yum-licious.
Flavoristic.
The sandwich of the summer. The Maple Pepper Bacon Sandwich.
Order the Maple Pepper Bacon Sandwich on the Chick-fil-A app today. Available for a limited time. Real guests paid for their testimonials. Breeze. As a rideshare driver, I love keeping my car smelling fresh and clean. So when I'm driving, I only trust new Febreze car vent clips, now with 3 times greater scent control, because it's that little touch that sets me apart. I can turn the intensity down for subtle freshness, or I can turn it up for when I want lots of scent. So whether it's set to low, medium, or high, with new Febreze car, I know my car's going to smell amazing, which keeps my driver rating right where it belongs. Picking up Oscar!
This is KBLA Talk 1580, where hate loses and love wins.
Okay, it's the perfect time to call me. So much going on in the world. We got some time to talk about it before we get into our final hour. The phone lines are wide open right now, 800-920-1580, 800-920-1580. I'll even give you amnesty right now for the next half an hour. If you haven't called in, you can call me now. We are going to be talking, actually, you will have the opportunity to tap into the conversation in the final hour as well, but it'll be focused conversation on Palestine, what's going on in Gaza, and how it impacts the election, the governance, and everything. We'll be joined by Fatima Iqbal-Zubair, who is over the Progressive Caucus in the state of California, but she won't be appearing with that hat. She'll be appearing with her hat as an activist in the space. So we'll be talking about that in the final hour of the show, and something, that we get distracted from because we are in a very, very crucial moment for our country in terms of this election. But it's also not something we can ignore, I think, and certainly will play a role in the Democratic National Convention. Next week, there are protests planned. Of course, a bunch of our KBLA shows will be broadcasting from the DNCC. That's Tavis Smiley, me, Ariva Martin, Adrian Shropshire, and Dr. Nicolai Corte. We'll all be on the ground in Chicago, bringing you not just what you see in the mainstream media, but our observations, how we perceive it to unfold, the information that we're able to glean from behind the scenes. All of that will be on display, and you'll be able to call in. I'm going to do my best. I'm working on getting me a little device so I can stream, because our YouTube, of course, is connected in the studio to these fabulous cameras, and I tried to do it in Africa, but I wasn't that successful. But I learned a few important things along the way. And just as I'm saying, we can't take our eyes off of what's happening in Gaza. We cannot take our eyes off of what's happening in the Ukraine. The flare-ups there, Moscow has started taking some troops out of Ukraine because they are trying to stop the offensive motion by the Ukrainian government into Western Russia. So Ukraine has gone on the offense, and it seems like it's forcing Russia to pull back in some of their troops. But how that's going to end up changing the game, if it does at all, I do not know. There is a new poll out, aside from the polling that I was talking about in California, which shows one of the things I didn't get to talk about with Tim Cornegay, that aside from 16% shift in black people towards the Democrats, towards Harris, at the top of the ticket over Biden, 23% shift from young people, the 18 to 25 crowd, a 23% move towards Harris, and away from either not voting or voting Republican or independent. There is a new poll out by the Associated Press and Nork Research Center that found that half of Americans describe Vice President Kamala Harris as committed to democracy and disciplined, compared to 30% for Trump, and 40% would call her honest, compared to 25% who say Trump is honest. Now, that's a moment in America. 40% of Americans, through the filter of all of the unconscious bias and everything else that impacts the way we perceive any black woman, any East Indian woman, any woman, through that lens, they're still giving VP Harris a 15-point advantage over Trump in the area of honesty. That's a moment for America. That's a moment for the world. And on the other hand, I really want to meet these 25% who give Trump the honesty advantage over VP Harris. That means they're deep in the cult. They're deep in the cult. Because to me, even if you love Trump and you think, he's going to help my money, he's going to let people out of jail, but still love cops somehow. People, whatever. If you're believing the talking points, he's going to put, a stimmy in every pot and let everybody out of jail, but still keep the immigrants out of your neighborhood, blah, blah, all this stuff, whatever it is you're thinking. You really think all that if you want, but honest? Really? I mean, the lies are documented, tens of thousands of them. The other thing that I thought was interesting here is 4 out of 10 people say Harris cares about people like me. 40% say Harris cares about people like me. 30% say Trump cares about people like me. Very, very interesting. And we shall see because, polls don't always mean everything, right? And that's why I don't want us to get too comfortable. Polls don't mean everything. And if 2016 taught me nothing else, it taught me that. I just did not believe there was any way that he who shall not be named, right, DJT, that he would win the presidency, and he did. The Prime Minister of Japan, Fumio Kishida, stepping down next month, he said. That is a big deal for us because Japan is a major ally of the United States. He said he won't run for re-election and he will step down. Wow. I don't know if he was inspired by Biden, but certainly this is what we're seeing as a time of extreme change, right? Protests in Bangladesh. Prime Minister steps down. Kenya. Protests in Kenya. And these in Bangladesh and Kenya, we're talking about young people. We're talking about Generation Z. In Kenya, they stopped the parliament from passing a major tax on regular foods and things that people need to live. They stopped that. Now they're still protesting. They want the president to step down, and we shall see. And if you look at that polling I was just citing about the United States, about California and the U.S. Election, it points to a similar trend in that it is Generation Z that has moved in the largest numbers back into the Democratic Party voter category. Doesn't mean that they're necessarily going to be registered Dems or go along with the party line, because I think Gen Z is very independent-minded and quite progressive overall. The big X platform Twitter infomercial with Elon Musk and Donald Trump that was delayed by 40 minutes. Elon said it was a massive cyber attack. He was DDoSed. But experts are saying not so much. According to the Washington Post, it was really probably just their system being overwhelmed. That there was no evidence of an attack, according to a senior engineer at X, and other top technologists, the Washington Post says, are skeptical because, and think about it, Ron DeSantis, remember when he did his campaign, his big flop of a campaign launch on X, and it crashed then. It's because a lot of people were trying to join, and also because other parts of X were working just fine, right? So that doesn't make sense. If you were DDoS, it would take down your whole server. This is called Elon Musk making an excuse for his technical difficulties because he's supposed to be this big cyber genius, futurist, blah, blah, blah. Not to mention, you didn't hear Trump yelling at him about his equipment. But basically, that was confirmed by technologists who say, nah, don't think that was it. That wasn't it. And you don't have to be a technologist to understand that if someone does a cyber attack on your platform, you couldn't still be tweeting and just not get into that particular one space. Supposedly, X has offered Kamala Harris a platform because at least last time I checked, 23 million people listened to that 2-hour meltdown of a debacle with what I call an infomercial with the Broskis. Trump and Elon, excellent adventure. They've invited her. I hope she doesn't go for it. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but it seems like that would be a setup for sure. Oh, let me be interviewed by Elon Musk, who hates his own daughter because she's trans, who consistently practices and speaks anti-blackness and misogyny. That sounds like a good idea. And who's also not a broadcaster, by the way. You even if you think he's the genius that's going to colonize Mars, he's not a radio guy. He's not a podcaster. He's not a television guy. He's just a dude with an agenda. 800-920-1580 if you want to weigh in. I'm Dominique DiPrima for Unapologetically Progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
Oh, man. Looks like Bobby needs a ride to the airport again.
Grab the keys.
Who's taking Auntie and her friends to the swap meet?
Grab the keys.
How about we drop these boxes off at Miss Johnson?
Grab the keys.
Whether you're giving rides or hauling gear, you're all about getting things done. So do it all in a Chevy SUV. From the versatile Equinox and sporty Blazer to the roomy Traverse, our lineup of SUVs will carry you through every adventure. All you have to do is...
grab the keys?
That's how we do. Head to your local Chevy dealer, where well-qualified buyers get 1.9% financing on all 2024 Malibu, Colorado, Blazer, Equinox, Trailblazer, and Traverse Limited models. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
1.9% APR for 36 months. Monthly payment is $28.60 for every $1,000 you finance. Example down payment 15.8%. Must finance with GM Financial. Some customers may not qualify. Not available with lease and some other offers. Take new retail delivery by 7/1/24.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text LION to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast, absolutely free. Text LION to 42424. That's LION to 42424.
Our daughter Jessie loves playing detective.
But since we discovered she has sensitive skin, we've been playing detective too.
We thought the problem was our puppy.
But it was actually our old detergent. So we switched to Tide Free and Gentle.
Tide Free and Gentle has no dyes or perfumes, so it's gentle on her skin.
If it's gotta be clean, it's gotta be Tide Free and Gentle. This back-to-school season, Tide and Downy are giving back with $1.5 million in scholarships. Enter to win. No purchase necessary. US/DC 17+. End September 30th. Rules. Tide.com/scholarship/official rules.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer whenever I want?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. 94% of Sleep Number smart sleepers report better sleep. J.D. Power ranks Sleep Number #1 in customer satisfaction with mattresses purchased in-store. And now, during our biggest sale of the year, save 50% on the Sleep Number Limited Edition smart bed. Limited time. For J.D. Power 2023 award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. To find a store near you, visit sleepnumber.com.
Girl, I have a secret. When I get stressed out, I get sweaty. That's why I use Secret Clinical Antiperspirant. It's like my own secret weapon. For 72 hours, I get Secret's strongest protection against sweat caused by stress, heat, and activity, because you know how crazy life can get. Plus, it's made with advanced odor fighters that don't just cover up smelliness. They help prevent it from happening in the first place. Believe me, if I weren't wearing Secret, I'd be a hot, smelly mess. Thankfully, Secret works.
We've got a lot to talk about.
Are you interested in catching up on all the latest entertainment news, trending topics, and exciting interviews? I got you. Tune in to The Raw Report with Robin Ayers, Monday through Friday, 6 to 7 p.m. I'm your host, Robin Ayers. Join me every weekday with some of the best entertainment contributors in the business as we break down what's going on, who's got next, and what not to miss. Only on The Raw Report with Robin Ayers.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
As a rideshare driver, I love keeping my car smelling fresh and clean. So when I'm driving, I only trust new Febreze car vent clips, now with 3 times greater scent control, because it's that little touch that sets me apart. I can turn the intensity down for subtle freshness, or I can turn it up for when I want lots of scent. So whether it's set to low, medium, or high, with new Febreze car, I know my car's going to smell amazing, which keeps my driver rating right where it belongs.
Picking up Oscar!
Find a righteous rage and don't be afraid to say what you see. We're KBLA Talk 1580.
We are, and you're invited in. As always, love the conversation in the chat. 800-920-1580. 800-920-1580 if you've got something to say. And, you know, for actually years, I'm going to say years, I was on the radio. I had met Elon Musk a number of times through my personal life things, you know, not like we were kicking it or anything like that, but I was in situations where I met him. I talked to him. I actually had drinks with him one time. And I know his kids, some of them rather well. So I felt like I shouldn't talk about him because I sort of knew him in a way, and I felt like that was a bit of an invasion. I don't know. I'm always mindful of people's personal space intersecting with my job as a broadcaster. But at a certain point, when he thrust himself into the national scene and started saying he was going to give, you know, millions to Republicans and has ruined Twitter, and I really think the first step for me was when the state of California had to sue Tesla because of the racism in those factories, where there was a special section called the plantation that they made the black workers stay in, and black workers were paid less and were given the most dangerous assignments, frequently called the N-word. These are in factories in the Bay Area. Biggest discrimination lawsuit in the history of the state. There's several other similar lawsuits going on by individuals. And that was what made me start to say, you know what, when you put yourself out there like that and you do stuff like that, then to me you become fair game in a sense. And that's when I started to speak a little bit more about him on the show. And when I was talking about the X interview, you could call it an interview, hangout, whatever. That's Spaces is what it's technically called. X Spaces. They're like clubhouse chats that they do on that Twitter app. I call it an infomercial because Trump and Elon Musk were steadily telling each other pretty much how much they loved each other and how great they both are. What I'm referring to when I say doesn't love his own daughter is Vivian Jenna Wilson, who is a trans child. She changed her name in 2022, and she has been going in on her father on Threads, calling out his hypocrisy. But you know, and I get kids and parents get estranged, but why is she doing that? Because Elon Musk went on X, a platform he owns, and has gone on podcasts and in major news networks, and saying that his 20-year-old daughter is dead to him because she transitioned from male to female, that she's dead, and consistently misgendering her. And he says he was tricked into signing off on the gender-affirming care for her. if you're this big scientific genius, I don't know how you got tricked into such as that. And saying that his daughter is really an autistic gay man. The point of the matter is your daughter is no longer a child. Your daughter is 20 years old. So, you could say you were tricked or you were not tricked or whatever. That child is now in charge of their own life and their own decisions. And it's up to you as a parent to love and respect them. And to me, that's just, that's the straw for me that broke that privacy. And speaking of Elon Musk, Don Lemon is suing him for canceling his show on X while he's busy big-upping DJT. Funny, though, that he announced that he was going to give $45 million a month to the Trump campaign. And then he backed off of it, kind of like, I never said $45 million a month. So, yay, that is going to fall through because that's a tremendous amount of money for any campaign. Who knows what it really will be? Maybe $4,500 a month. Who knows? But the former CNN anchor, Don Lemon, is suing him. He says that Elon Musk reneged on their deal to do a show. Musk had made the announcement that Don Lemon would be hosting his show on X, and he would be joining shows like Tucker Carlson, Ben Shapiro, and Alex Jones. Like they'd have one semi-moderate guy in the middle of all these rabid disinformation purveyors. So then he was trying to show that, they're great people on both sides or whatever. So then Musk sits down with Lemon for an interview, gets upset with what Lemon is asking him, and cancels the show. So now Don Lemon, never a stranger to a lawsuit, is suing him, accusing them of false promises and representations, and saying he would be entering into a profitable, long-lasting business relationship. And he says they were really just trying to pimp his name to get some people on to the platform. We'll definitely be keeping an eye on that. We're talking Gaza. Next hour, you are more than welcome to weigh in. Don't forget to like, follow, and comment. Yes, I'm still on X, Twitter. We are at KBLA 1580 on X, on Instagram, on YouTube, where we're streaming right now. And yay, TikTok. Even I'm on TikTok now. DiPrima Radio, DiPrima Radio. Yes, Miles. Thank you, Miles. Miles, it took you like 2 years, maybe 3, to finally get me on TikTok. But I'm there now. And you can find me on all those platforms as well at DiPrima Radio. Please like, follow, subscribe, and all the things, because it means the world to us and it makes us stronger as a social force and also as a business. We're talking with Fatima Iqbal Zubair next on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
For president, the USDA will expand testing for bird flu in beef entering the nation's food supply. The decision comes as almost 200 herds of dairy